Alright, here is a comic I didn't have much to say about, but I felt obliged to do it because I did part 1, and I might as well finish off the story. This is Avengers 226. This was a fill-in story arc by Mark Spector, which served to reintroduce Darth Knight to the team and resolve the situation with him being trapped in the Middle Ages. And they fix it through the means of having Dr. Doom in his first meeting with the Avengers, a team that he eventually joins. He mentally forces the Avengers to do all this without any say in the matter. Classic Dr. Doom. He has transported the Avengers back in time to help Darth Knight, but while he is there with their bodies, it's complicated. Dr. Doom mind-time displacement. It's easier to just say Dr. Doom raped them into the past. Now though, a warrior from the magical kingdom of Avalon has come to assassinate Dr. Doom and put an end to this entire palaver. So Dr. Doom, he snatches and brings the two most powerful Avengers back to defend them, Thor and She-Hulks. I understand there are a lot of Dr. Doom sympathisers watching my channel, or one of them. I do get that where the character goes is the least flattering direction for any character ever. But even before he was mentally controlling women and enslaving female Avengers, he was so clearly a massive bellend. This entire adventure is him forcing the Avengers to do something that they probably would have done anyway had he just asked. And then he is selfishly taking away the two strongest members of the team to defend himself. This bit with She-Hulk's throwing Iron Man's lifeless body is the highlight of the issue. Beautiful stuff. Hashtag make She-Hulk's throw Iron Man again. So, with Dr. Doom taking Thor and She-Hulk's away, that leaves the incredibly underpowered quartet of Captain America, Wasps, Hawkeye, and Darth Knight to fight this big-ass monster troll thing that already defeated Thor and She-Hulk's. This serves its purpose of re-establishing Darth Knight and giving him a good showing and a challenge that he is equipped to handle. I never really got why Marvel shunted this character off into the past for a decade. He was a viable character. I understand Mark Spector, the writer of this. He did have one of his projects that he tried to get going a few years before this was a Darth Knight series, but it never came to fruition. Instead, Darth Knight just sat on a shelf out of the way and unused for 10 years. If it wasn't for that, he would have likely continued to appear in the Bronze Age and maybe be at the same level of prominence as Wonder Man or the Vision. I said the same thing in part 1. This isn't the greatest story, but it's serviceable. It is what it wants to be. It accomplishes most of what it sets out to do. And that is bring Darth Knight back. And it is great to see him with the Avengers again. Shortly after this, he rejoins the team full time. So this one feels like it does have a lot more significance. Another thing to consider is that this follows what at the time had been the worst run on Avengers. Timothy Shooter's miserable second run, which lasted only 10 issues. That was the run where Hank Gordon twatted wasps in the face. It was also the run where the beautiful bald lady, Moon Garden, went irredeemably evil and irredeemably sexy. She raped Thor a few issues before this, and I contend that sequence remains one of the sexiest things ever published. And that is the only nice thing I have to say about Timothy Shooter's second run. It is horrendous. Not just the character destruction with Hank Gordon and Moon Garden, but everything else is terrible too. Captain America is written as a total irrational arsehole. Iron Man is a guessing character when he has an affair with wasps almost immediately after Hank Gordon gets sent to jail. And it is not just Hank Gordon hitting his wife that is a problem with Hank Gordon. If that never happened, if that scene never was printed, the character was still being demolished. Timothy Shooter was writing him as being psychologically abusive to her in every other scene. He had Hank Gordon as a cowardly, insecure loser. So a two-parter like this, it's a welcome relief. Nobody is being a knob, except for Dr. Doom. Characters are not being debased, except by Dr. Doom. And there is some purpose to what is happening. I'll admit it could really do with Moon Garden showing up and raping Darth Knight. But that is just me. Most people didn't want to see that sort of stuff happen with their heroes. We do get to see Darth Knight wield the magical artifact that looks like a butt plug. He is holding it upside down though. How is Moon Garden going to mount that? And there is Dr. Doom laughing. I cannot think of a more sinister note to end on. Dr. Doom laughing about how he forced the Avengers to do this. By the way, the story kinda just forgets Iron Man. In part 1, they said that his iron armour meant that he couldn't be mystically teleported because iron and magic gone together like Jimothy Shooter and Hank Gordon. So he just stands around entranced and then gets thrown by She-Hulks, which is why I am giving this issue 7 thumbs up. That bit, Iron Man's contribution to this story, it might be the best Iron Man story ever. Even at the end, he doesn't get to say something sarcastic about it, or like, it's a living, or whatever Iron Man's catchphrase is. And speaking of the ending, the lack of consequence for Dr. Doom is a problem with me. They kind of just gone, the Avengers, they're just gone, yeah, okay, and let him gone. Worse, he shows up 50 issues later, exactly 50 issues later, under similar conditions and gets invited to join the team. He has already shown that he is untrustworthy and very self-serving. He never should be an Avenger. But he did allow She-Hulks to throw Iron Man, so, as said, 7 thumbs up.